Hey YouTube, and welcome to our first episode in the Speed Game Review series. The purpose of these videos is to help you make a quick decision on if you should or should not buy a game, possibly because it just came up on sale, by providing a very quick look at the game, the good, the bad, and if we think it's worth buying it or not, and at what price. And we're going to do all of this in under 5 minutes. So, without further ado, Ryan.
What?
Go ahead and load up Endless Legend. We're looking at that today.
Okay, fine, let me download it. Hang on just a second.
Endless Legend is a 4X turn-based strategy game. 4X, if you've seen it in other game descriptions, is short for Explore, Expand, Exterminate, and Exploit, the types of things you can do in the game. If we had to compare Endless Legend to a AAA game that's currently on the market today, we'd say it's most like Civilization V. But it actually has a lot more depth and variety to how you can play the game than the Civilization V game. Endless Legend supports up to an 8-player co-op campaign, and has a variety of different options for how you can configure your world setting, from the size of the continents to like what events will happen during the gameplay, that kind of thing. A typical turn will include having to manage what you're building and producing for your city, choosing what technologies your empire is trying to advance, troop equipment, movement, exploration, combat, and for those that want to try to use it, diplomacy. There are 8 playable factions within the game. Each one has its own unique abilities and backstory that comes into play as you progress through the development stages of your empire. Because of the perks and disadvantages of each faction, gameplay will be completely different depending on who you're playing and who your opponents are. For example, there's one faction that doesn't eat food, another that can't produce troops on its own. It has to go out to NPC camps and assimilate them into their culture and then just produce those types of troops or buy them off the market, and a third group that just wants to eat everyone else in the game. Good luck trying diplomacy with them. It does not work. As you can see, there's some beautiful graphics, and we don't even have this cranked up to full. It's just on normal graphics resolution right now. You zoom in and out using the mouse wheel, so you do need to have a mouse to play this. If you have just a laptop, it becomes a little hard to do it, as we found out. The user interface is easy to use, and the menu system, while complex, is not difficult to open, to close. It doesn't take a lot of effort to do it. It's very seamless. You have a number of different AI settings so that you don't get stuck with an overly easy or overly hard AI, and the descriptions for them are pretty entertaining just to read. There's a level of complexity to how the game evolves through both the technology that you learn and the random world events that occur that leads to hours of gameplay to finish even a single match. The ability to save a multiplayer match so that you and your friends can play it later comes in very handy since most games last several hours. Okay, so what are the things you gotta watch out for when playing this game? Obviously, this is a small studio, so there are a few bugs. It took me a good day to figure out how to get the game to run, simply because I had the wrong version of .NET installed on my computer, and I had to go to the Microsoft website, find the older version, get it installed, and then it started working. Small price to play. I didn't have any crashes, any problems with the game after that point, but getting it started was a little bit of a challenge. Okay, so other weak points. The same complexity that makes Endless Legend so much fun and so much more than other releases in the same genre also makes it extremely hard to just pick up and play without first going through all the tutorials and then playing a few times on your own just to figure out how each faction works and what is most important and what really doesn't work for that faction. The games are long. After playing 1, 2, and a 4-player match, we finally figured out that the best way to figure out how long a game takes from start to end is to just assume it's an hour per player involved. That includes AI players. So if you're playing a 3-player game with like 2 regular players and an AI, expect that it's going to take you at least 3 hours to finish it, probably a little more if you're just getting started. Controls in combat can be really annoying if you're not careful. You'll find your troops ignoring your direct commands and instead just charging the enemy and shooting them, giving up advantageous positions because you forgot to set them to a non-aggressive state at the start of combat. Just keep an eye out for it. Once you get used to it, it's easy, but it's really annoying when you're first learning everything. So, is it worth the $35 price tag? If you're a fan of empire building games, this is certainly worth buying. With the excellent graphics, the soundtrack, and the replay value of the game, you won't go wrong adding this to your game library. If you've just a passing interest in games of this sort, we'd still recommend buying this one, but you might want to wait for a Steam sale, get it for 20 or less, pick up 2 copies and then have you and a friend playing it all night long. I bought this for my brother, and we ended up playing it for I think 5 hours one night, just going at it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments section below, and as always, thank you for watching. This is Pez of Doom with Rogue Ocean Gaming, signing off.
Okay, I am in... What now? Pez? Pez. Dude, you know there are games out there that don't require you to read a damn wiki page to play them?